Hello, young scientist. My name is Aishvi Gupta, and in this video, we'll be seeing some advanced calculation of the moment of inertia of a uniform solid cylinder and a solid sphere. Okay, so before you begin, remember this thing that this is a little advanced video. Okay, so even if you do not understand the calculation, then don't get depressed and simply learn it. Okay. So this is short introduction about me. I'm a BTech IT Roorkee student, and let's begin for the calculation of moment of inertia of a uniform cylinder. Okay, that is solid cylinder. Remember this thing that. So let's say we have a cylinder of radius capital R and mass capital M and of height or length as small l. Okay, and let's say it rotating about an angular velocity omega. Okay, well, this is not required for the calculation of moment of inertia. This already I have told you. Okay, now moment of inertia of a uniform cylinder will be again because the mass isn't uniformly distributed from the axis of rotation, so we have to take the elemental mass approach. Okay, so that is I is equals to integration of r square into dm. Okay, because mass isn't fully distributed at a fixed distance from center, we have to take the element first of all to calculate the elemental moment of inertia of it, and then we will be integrating it. Okay, now if we see the from the top view. Okay, so there is a, you have to take the first of all the element. Okay, and remember this thing that this mass element is taken in such a way that it is looking almost alike or is the symmetrical with the original object. Okay, so here we will be taking the mass element as your hollow cylinder. Okay, so you can see this is a hollow cylinder elemental view. Okay, and if you just look it at the top, you will see a ring. Okay, because this is a hollow cylinder, so you will only have a ring which is extending downward. Okay, so the mass of this element. Okay, and remember this thing that we have taken the radius of this elemental hollow cylinder as small r. So the mass of this elemental hollow cylinder, okay, will be equals to your dm. Okay, which is equals to your density into the elemental volume. Okay, so why we are doing all this? Because first of all, remember this thing that this is a solid cylinder. Okay, and the uh, element that we had taken is a hollow cylinder. Okay, so the mass of it is little complicated, so that's why we will be using the density is equal to mass upon volume thing. Okay, because density of a object is constant. Okay, throughout, whether it is a small volume or large volume, it doesn't really change. Okay, so this is a constant. Okay, so that's why we are writing this as elemental volume only. So dm will be equals to rho into dv, rho into, again remember this thing that the volume of this hollow cylinder that we have taken isn't equals to your pi r square l. Okay, because this is the volume of the solid cylinder. Okay, and because our cylinder under consideration is hollow. Okay, that is this elemental cylinder, so we will not be using this formula, and then we will be using this dA into L. Okay, so what is this dA? dA is this area. Okay, this you can see this shaded portion, and L is the length of the cylinder. Okay, so and you can visualize this by keeping this here. Okay, and just stretching it to a length L. Okay, so that will form you, if that will give you a horizontal hollow cylinder. Okay, now the area of this elemental ring as seen from the top. Okay, this thing is equals to your 2 pi r into dr. Okay, so this is the dr is the width of this hollow cylinder. Okay, and r is the radius of this hollow cylinder that we have already taken. Okay, so we are writing this as 2 pi r into dr. Okay, now you don't write this as outer pi into outer radius square minus pi into inner radius square. Okay, if you write this, then it will be pi r plus dr whole square minus pi small r square. Okay, but because dr is very small. Okay, so if you apply the expansion and try to neglect the very short terms, you will again get this only. Okay, that is 2 pi r into dr. So visualize this something like this way, that is 2 pi r into dr. Okay, so this 2 pi r is the perimeter of this ring, and simply into dr will give you the area of the shaded portion. Okay, remember this thing that this is applicable only when dr is very very small. Okay, now if we just put this over here, so you will again get pi into, sorry, rho into 2 pi r into dr into l. Okay, so you get the elemental mass as something like this. Okay, now the moment of inertia of this elemental cylinder, hollow cylinder, will be equals to your r square into dm, that we already know. So this is r square, dm you will get it from here, put it this, and you will get di equals to something like this. Okay, now you don't need to remember any of these expression, you just have to remember the final result and how this final result has come. Okay, the method is very very important. Okay, so for the full cylinder you again have to integrate this. Okay, from 0 to capital R. Okay, because we have taken from a small r distance, so we have to integrate it from 0 to capital R. Okay, so if you integrate it, solve this complex integration, if you like the mathematics, then you can do it easily. Okay, so you will get something like this. Okay, so because rho now can be written it in terms of mass upon volume. Okay, so you write this rho equals to capital M upon, now here the volume you will take because you are considering the whole mass of the solid cylinder, so you have to consider the whole volume. Okay, so the whole volume of the solid cylinder is your pi r square l. Okay, so r will be replaced by capital R because our solid cylinder had a radius of r capital R. Okay, so write this over here, you will get I as something like this, solve it, and you will finally get it as half mr square. Okay, so for a cylinder L, this is the moment of inertia for a cylinder along its axis perpendicular to its base. Okay, so we are here calculating the moment of inertia of a uniform cylinder about an axis which is parallel to its length and perpendicular to its base. Okay, so this value is equals to your half mr square. Okay, so learn it. Okay, so this was the for the solid cylinder. For hollow cylinder it's simply mr square. Okay, because that's a ring extended upward. Okay, now let's deal with another complicated case, that is the moment of inertia for a uniform solid sphere. Okay, so you know that for a uniform solid sphere, the moment of inertia of a solid sphere of radius capital R of mass capital M, okay, will be equals to 2 by 5 mr square. Okay, so let's see how we will be solving it. Again, because here the mass is not uniformly distributed or at a fixed distance from the center of axis of rotation, so we have to take again the elemental approach. Okay, so here if we take the spheric, because in the last thing we chose the hollow cylinder. Okay, and you might be thinking here we'll be choosing the hollow spherical shell, but again because we don't know the horizontal this hollow spherical shell moment of inertia, so there is no point in taking that element. Okay, so here we will be taking the element again something like your elemental cylinder. Okay, so this cylinder again will be the solid cylinder. Okay, so this you can assume it as a disc type of thing. Okay, so the disc or the cylinder, elemental cylinder, will have a height of dx. Okay, and this will have a this the length of this solid cylinder will be, or the width or the radius will be small r. Okay, so for this elemental cylinder, you know that the moment of inertia will be equals to I is equal to half mr square, that we have already seen over here, that is the half mr square for a solid cylinder. Okay, or for a disc also. Okay, because disc also has the moment of inertia half mr square. Okay, so the elemental cylinder here will have a moment of inertia as di equals to half r square into dm. Okay, that is half mr square, here m we have written it as dm. Okay, again you express dm in the form of rho dv, here dv will be equals to your pi r square into dx. Okay, that is pi r square l, l will be replaced by the dx. Okay, that is the height, that is the dx. Okay, so di will be something equal to like this. Okay, now again let's see, because I have already told you that the element we have to take is in the form of a ring or a cylinder. Okay, so we will not be taking it as a shell, because if we take it as a shell, again we are on the same problem. Okay, so because we know the moment of inertia of the ring and cylinder, so we can take either of them. But again, on integrating ring you will get the cylinder. Okay, so as we have seen it over here, we have already chosen this as a ring. Okay, and the ring integration will actually give us the moment of inertia of this cylinder. Okay, so here we will be choosing the cylinder only. Okay, not the ring. So again, coming back to our problem, so this was the elemental cylinder, and you can see over here, now our job is to convert this r to the power 4 term, that is this, into the radius. Okay, that is the small r. Okay, because ultimately we are concerned with the small r, that is we have to integrate it from 0 to capital R. Okay, or you can say minus r to r, if it depends. Okay, so to convert it into the small r terms, you have to uh, convert it into x term. Okay, that is this x, because we have to ultimately integrate it from minus r to plus r. Okay, because here we are not concerned with the radius. Okay, or you can just simply take this from 0 to r. Okay, that depends on your calculations. Okay, so if you just convert it, you get r square equals to x square plus small r square. Okay, so convert it, put it back, you will get r square minus x square to the power whole square. Okay, from this, that is r to the power 4 is now converted into this. So now you have to just integrate it from the minus r to r, because you can see x will be varying from minus r to plus r. Okay, now again you don't need to solve this complex, okay, until you learn the integrations. Okay, just simply neglect the calculation and just see that the result will be something like this. Okay, so again you have to don't have to memorize all these stuff, just know the working or how to calculate the moment of inertia. Okay, so again you put rho is equals to m upon v. Here the volume of the solid spherical body will be equals to 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, so put that over here, solve it, you get the moment of inertia as 2 by 5 m r square. Okay, and this is what we have what we know in the beginning. Okay, so remember this thing, that in this proof we just need to know how we have achieved this result. Okay, not really what are the calculations that are involved. Okay, you must know the working, that is how you calculate the moment of inertia. Okay, so I guess this is all for this video. Even if you do not understand this video properly, then no worries. Okay, just simply remember the results. These are some of the little advanced calculations for the moment of inertia. Okay, so wish you good luck.